TheOAMNetwork.com.
Power to the podcast.
Step into our kingdom. It's the Three Bearded Kings podcast.
Welcome back to the Three Bearded Kings podcast. I am Leonard Andre Wilson Jr., and next to me, to the right of me,
you got William Bryan Weed, and to the right of me, you got
Tyler Alexander Hildreth. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 11. Episode 11 today is hashtag teleportation device.
Please explain, sir.
All right, so at the dealership, this man Leonard, me and Will, we'll be looking for him.
He is the most disappearing bastard that I know.
Like, have you ever seen somebody walk through a door and then you're like, you turn and someone calls your name and then you turn back and motherfucker's gone? That's Leonard. He just disappears.
I have literally been, like you just said, I would be talking to Leonard. I would go to like the break room to do something and walk right back and Leonard be gone. And then he'd be gone for like 45 minutes. And we'd be like, where the hell did he go? So me and Tyler came to the conclusion that this man has a teleportation device and he just jumps from place to place at any given second.
Now, we always talk about entrepreneurship. I don't know where this fucking device is at. But Leonard's holding out on us, everybody. I want y'all to know he's holding out.
Yeah, you need to let us know something, brother, so we can start making some money.
The disappearing act, I've never seen anything like it.
At the risk of my current employer, listen to this. I have to plead the fifth. No comment.
I mean, you're still on the grounds, but it's just like, I don't know where you go. Like, it's like,
once again,
you open the doors to like another dimension or some shit. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like it.
No comment. I plead the fifth. I'm not going to tell you. Actually, I know. You got to disappear with me for a couple hours.
You disappeared, man, one day. And I was just like, I saw you go outside, and then you was gone.
No, seriously, you was sitting at the desk,
right?
And I literally will like turn around and your ass just be gone. I'd be like, "What?
Look, y'all, I got stuff to do. I'm a full-time teacher. I got a family. I got a business. I'm writing books. I got things to do.
Y'all don't understand, man. I'm talking about he can be like, "Hey, look over there." And then you look, and then you look back, and he's just like not even there.
Hell,
but like there was only one exit, so he would have had to come by me to leave. So I don't know how.
Hell, he might disappear during this damn episode.
Super facts.
You just see the headphones floating in the air. Like, wait a minute, how the fuck?
It's funny you mentioned that. I've actually started doing videos of lessons that I'm teaching, and so I'll play it in class while I'm walking around helping the kids out. And I've kind of figured out if I really wanted to, I can have the video playing, cut off one of the lights, and I could literally go. Nobody would know.
You've probably already done that.
At the risk of my current employer listening, I plead the fifth. I don't know what you're talking about, Will.
Right.
All right, let's go ahead and get a shout out. So how can everybody contact us, man?
All right, so shout out to the OM Network. That's where the Three Bearded Kings are recording. Shout out to Midtown. Shout out to the Crosstown Concourse. Shout out to Trend Set Mag Presents Welcome to Memphis. They did a expose on Will and his beard. I don't know if that is a voting of the best beard of the Three Bearded Kings. I should hope
Possibly.
not. Shut up. But that's really dope. We're on page 8 and 9, Black Excellence, the Three Bearded Kings podcast. So
yeah, so please get your copy.
Absolutely.
I believe they have them on their website, so please visit the website.
So yeah, follow us on Facebook, SoundCloud. Where else are we? Black Scholars Publishing.
We
Twitter.
We're everywhere. SoundCloud. You already said SoundCloud.
Instagram.
The OM, IG, the OM network.
We might be
website.
We might be seeing you direct snaps soon. I don't know.
We're everywhere.
Yeah, we're everywhere.
Thank you for those who have been listening to us. We are almost approaching 1,000 subscribers for the month.
Really?
Yeah,
On what platform?
all of them.
Wow.
Yep.
I did not
People
know
have
that.
been listening to us. So thank you. Thank you so much for the support.
Yeah, shout out to y'all.
Thank you for the couple of people who have purchased a Three Bearded Kings podcast shirt. We definitely appreciate that. And if you have a business or a service or you need promotion, you can contact the Three Bearded Kings. We're willing to help you out. It's
Yes,
our
we
duty.
are.
It's our civic duty.
That's what
It
we're
won't
here for.
cost much. So definitely thank you for supporting the OM Network. Thank you for supporting the Three Bearded Kings. We do this out of passion, and we want to help you guys, and thank you for helping us.
Yes,
we
sir.
definitely appreciate that. So the agenda for today's show, we're going to talk a little NBA. The new season has started. Started off kind of nasty, to be honest. So we'll talk about that
Yeah.
in a second. And our feature segment for the day is why you should and how to start a side hustle. So we all need to get out there and we need to hustle hard. But before we get into that, excuse me, my fellow bearded kings,
Shit.
Oh, Lord.
I need to go on a Kanye rant.
Man, you got the floor, man. Have at it.
I don't know what we're yelling about! Loud noises!
Memphis drivers. And when I say Memphis drivers, I don't mean your driver license plate say Shelby County. I mean Memphis drivers where it says Arkansas. Memphis drivers where it says Mississippi,
Those are the worst.
including Tipton County or wherever other county you come from, including Shelby County. Will, tell me this. You were born and raised in Memphis, correct?
Right.
As part of your K through 12, so in high school, do you have to take driver's ed?
When I was in high school, you didn't actually. You didn't have to take driver's
And I don't
ed.
think that's changed.
Obviously, it hasn't judged on.
Now, I'm from
Wow.
Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, you have to take driver's ed. It's actually a part, or at least it was a part, of high school. I actually went to summer school for it because I didn't have time during my regular, semesters. And I didn't finish because I missed a couple of days, so I actually had to pay for driver's ed. I took the test the first time. I think I only missed like a point. Like, it was damn near perfect. The only time I messed up is where I had to parallel park and it was raining outside, and I thought it was like a squirrel or a rock or something to the left, and I kind of messed up a little bit. So I lost a point, but it was damn near perfect. So my driving is defensive driving, and I'm so blessed and grateful to have that driving, because if I didn't, I would die. You guys cannot drive. So let me share a quick story with you guys. So this was last week. I was on my way to the dealership. It was on a Sunday. It was a creepy white van in front of me.
Like a pedophile van?
Yes, near my home. Near my peaceful home in my peaceful neighborhood. It would not move. It was just sitting there at the stop sign. I honked my
Oh my
horn
God,
once.
I hate that. Oh my.
I honked my horn once. I honked my horn twice. I even honked it a third time. I said, you know what? Fuck it. So I moved over to the left-hand lane. When I moved over to the left-hand lane, this guy gets out of the car. I was literally 9 minutes. I had 9 minutes left to get to work. I rolled down my window, and I won't repeat what I said because I've got friends and family and my grandma listening. But I let him have it, and I gave him a stern warning. And this is a stern warning to all of you Arkansas and Memphis drivers and Mississippi drivers. You suck. I'm getting emotional. Damn it. You are terrible drivers. Take a driver's ed class.
Was this guy in the van a Memphis? Was it a Memphis native?
It was
or-
Shelby County.
It was Shelby County. Okay.
Yes.
So people are only going to understand this when they look at this Facebook Live, but when they listen to it on any of the other
It's going to
platforms,
sound crazy as hell.
no, they're going to miss the fact that it looks like you're about to have an aneurysm. So
I might. I love you, mama.
It looks like he's about to put that teleportation device to
Let me
use.
move on to my second rant. Fast food restaurants.
Fast food restaurant.
Yes. So I spend a lot of time. First of all, I got some coffee this week. Coffee.
Starbucks.
It wasn't Starbucks. It should have been Starbucks.
That
I
was
should
your
have known
first
better.
mistake.
That was my first mistake. I went to a Circle K gas station. I was in a rush. You're going to think I'm lying, listeners, when I tell you this. I took 2 sips of the coffee as I'm headed to work to teach the kids because I love them. 2 sips.
Mm-hmm.
I get ready to take the 3rd sip. Guess what's going on with my cup? I had to turn the light on because I get up pretty early. It's still dark outside. The cup dissolved.
Huh?
Let me say that again for listeners who didn't hear me the first time. The coffee cup dissolved. The coffee was too hot for the coffee cup.
So it was just in your cup holder?
You just had a bad week, huh?
It spilled all over my car. I went back to that Circle K, and somebody's going to pay for my detailing. I need that clean. I like a clean car. Damn you. And the last one, my last rant. This goes to the
Most
city of
importantly.
Memphis. This goes to the city of Memphis. And you guys can join me in this. If you didn't know, and thank you, Zan, our producer, for sharing, Amazon has decided to bring a distribution center, 72 million, I believe, to Memphis, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Most of the jobs there are going to pay about $13 an hour. It's not a lot, but it's definitely moving toward what we call a living wage. Because you have, what do we call it? Low cost of
Low cost of living?
Yeah, there we go. Low cost of living. Okay? In Memphis, Tennessee. But that's not the actual prize we were after. The city of Memphis was trying to get the second headquarters for Amazon, which allegedly is going to cost Amazon about $5 billion to build. And if you don't know what Amazon is, you've been living under a rock. It's the largest retailer in the entire universe. They have taken over. They have bought Whole Foods. Great food. Very expensive food. That's how much money they have. And we had an opportunity, and we didn't get it. And the reason why we did not get it, and you can check this out in a commercial appeal, the reason why Memphis did not get it is because of our workforce. When you look at the universities here, Lemoyne-Owen, the University of Memphis, I don't think Rhodes was a problem, but maybe Rhodes. What other universities? Christian Brothers. Yeah. And they're looking at graduation rates. And they're looking at how many STEM majors they have. They have 50,000 opportunities. Most of them are going to be tech-heavy, tech-savvy professionals. We're not prepared. So the city of Memphis, although we might have won, or we have a victory, we lost the war. And so we need another company similar to FedEx that's going to gamble, that's going to believe in Memphis, that's going to give us an opportunity. Because what we have now is a cycle where companies are looking at Memphis, they see, no state taxes, they see low cost of living. There are actually good schools in Memphis that are recognized across the country. But when we don't have the workforce to actually fill those jobs and those roles, they have no choice but to look elsewhere. So that's the end of my rant. I'm sorry, guys. I just had to get that out. I'm still not over the coffee cup melting.
That's something I never heard of.
That must have been like the cheapest cup ever.
Yeah, it had to be like.
Oh, man. Come on, Memphis. Step it up.
Please.
Circle K.
Please.
Do better, please.
Circle K. Do better.
They need to make a more strict
Memphis
driving
drivers.
test.
Do better.
Because.
See, I didn't have driving school. Well, we had driving school when I grew up in Missouri, in a suburb of Kansas City called Lee Summit. I never did driving school, though. You know why? Because I was big enough. I was tall enough. My mom would let me drive her van when I was like 11 years old. So I would I would drive in parking lots or like just down the street from 11, 12 years old. Being able to do that, it helped me to drive. and when I came here, I was like, this is insane. People cannot drive here. And then I'm looking at this rant about Amazon. Come on, guys. You can't do very much with that sociology major here.
And this is not to say that all of those, 100% of those 50,000 positions would be, specifically in tech. Obviously, you need a marketing department. Obviously, you need accountants. Obviously, you
finance,
need
everything.
Yeah. You need mid-managers, supervisors. Like, we get it, and secretaries, receptionists, whatever you call them. But
we talked about this in the last episode.
Yeah.
You don't need a communications degree.
No.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You can communicate perfectly fine, I hope.
Honestly,
if you're in college.
Honestly, you don't need a marketing degree. What you
don't.
need is a portfolio showing
That
this is the different companies I've worked with. This is the nonprofits I've worked with. This is my own blog and website and how I grew it. Like, especially for like social media marketing, like the proof is in the pudding. They don't care about your degrees anymore. There's a lot of people with marketing degrees. What actually separates you? What actual projects have you actually worked on, and what are your numbers? I mean, for a lot of companies, that's what they're looking at. What are your numbers?
Memphis, do better.
Take
University of Memphis.
Please do
better. Please.
Take that for data. Speaking of data and the Grizzlies, let's go ahead and get into our debate of the day.
Recent research has shown that empirical evidence for globalization of corporate innovation is very limited. And as a corollary, the market for technologies is shrinking. As a world leader, it's important for America to provide systematic research grants for our scientists. I believe strongly there will always be a need for us to have a well-articulated innovation policy with emphasis on human resource development. Thank you.
Oh, I love that movie. So, the NBA season started last Tuesday?
Right.
Cleveland versus Boston? Who else played?
It was Cleveland.
Golden State versus Houston.
Yeah.
Houston, yeah.
Let's start with Golden State versus Houston first. Chris Paul got injured. I didn't even know he was injured.
And he's out for...
He's out for up to a month.
Yeah, 2 to 4 weeks, I think.
One of the things that I was worried about when Chris Paul got traded to the Houston Rockets is that his style is very much different than what James Harden and Mike D'Antoni do. They like to run the ball. They like to shoot it. I think there was an interview with Mike D'Antoni before, and they asked him, have you ever seen a bad three-point shot? And he thought about it for a second, and he said, nope, I certainly haven't. Chris Paul likes to slow down the ball. Chris Paul is a Hall of Famer. I think we'll all agree to that. What Chris Paul does
and whining
is the opposite of what Houston does. Houston shoots a lot of threes. Yes, Chris Paul is capable of shooting a three, but his most effective shot is a long two-pointer. If you paid attention to the Houston Rockets last year, and even before then, they avoided open, long two-point shots to the point that they would either dribble backwards to get behind the three-point line and let the defense catch up and guard them, or they would pass the ball out of that open shot, like wide open, still pass the ball. Yeah. Because they're looking at analytics, and analytics say we can live and die by the three, and we're probably going to be very successful. And Houston is a very good team.
Yeah.
But Chris Paul, he's a traditional point guard. He's going to slow it down. I mean, his role model as far as prototypical point guard is John Stockton, one of my favorite point guards of all time. And John Stockton was a beast in half-court basketball. He liked to slow the game down. That's the opposite of what Houston does. So anyways, Chris Paul got injured, his knee, and he's out for a month. And Houston, I think the very next game, just smacked somebody badly and easily, too.
Sacramento, was it?
Yeah, and James Harden dropped like 29, 10, and 7. Like, he's a beast. Yeah. So Houston is definitely going to be in the playoffs, so we all agree. We'll talk about our seedings in a second. Just want to start out with the first night. And the thing that I can't unsee, going over to the Boston and Cleveland game, R.I.P. Gordon Hayward. I like Gordon Hayward.
Yeah.
I like Gordon Hayward a lot. In an NBA which is filled with majority African-American men, he is the one or one of the few white men that's very athletic. He plays great defense. He can actually score. He can dribble. He has a great all-around game. He's pretty athletic.
Yeah.
So the fact that he got injured on a potential alley-oop, a badly thrown alley-oop, thanks Kyrie Irving.
He shouldn't even went up for that.
Let me ask you guys this. Do you think Kyrie Irving is having regrets for leaving Cleveland right now?
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you why.
Not yet.
Did you hear that comment when what game was it? The comment he got fined for.
I know he cursed out a fan recently.
Yeah. A fan asked him where's LeBron. He said, "Where's LeBron?" And he said, "Suck my dick" to the fan.
Whoa.
That's what he said.
Whoa.
So for him to react that way to a fan, usually they just ignore the trash talkers when they're walking out the game.
He's getting frustrated already. They're only
he's
3
out-
games in,
yeah,
right?
3 games in.
I'd be
And,
pretty frustrated too if I throw an oop in.
Have they won a game yet?
I don't think so.
they won.
No, they
I
haven't.
thought they won their
Oh,
second.
They
game.
lost that second game.
Wait,
Oh, they did.
That was against
I
the
think
Bucks.
I think they're 0-2.
They lost against the Bucks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me check, but I believe they're 0-2.
All right, so
Anyway.
which side y'all want to do first? You want to do Eastern Conference or West?
I mean, the Eastern Conference is complete garbage. So
Yeah, this will take us 2 minutes. Let's do the Eastern Conference
Less
first.
than that.
Okay, Cleveland's going back to the finals.
Duh.
And
Anybody want to debate against that?
so
Cleveland's going back to the
So
finals.
basically, the 2nd through 8th seed. It doesn't
I'm sorry,
even matter.
correction. Boston is 1-2. Correct.
Oh, who they beat?
I have no idea.
Doesn't matter. Moving on. So we got Cleveland as the number 1 seed. The number 2 seed is
Bucks.
the Bucks are looking pretty.
Right.
Now-
Kumpo looks nasty.
Greek is a beast. Shout out to my Bucks.
He's going to be.
He's
He's
like
definitely going to be MVP talk this season.
The Bucks are one trade away from actually being a
Championship caliber team.
well, I was going to say a legitimate challenger
Shit,
to
I was
the
going to say
Cavs.
they might be one ACL away if Jabari Parker could get his stop
Yeah.
tearing every damn thing. Every
Well,
year.
they were thinking about trading him or trying to trade him.
I don't know, man. It's hard for NBA players, especially, to come back from knee injuries, man. They lose that explosiveness.
Yeah.
You see what happened to that young man we're going to call Chandler Parsons here in Memphis. He doesn't look the same.
Yeah.
All those knee surgeries that add up.
94 is that 94 million? 94.1.
Let's please not repeat that
Okay.
amount that he's
All right.
getting.
Anyway,
Sorry.
so
All right.
well, who's the 3 seed then? Like, I don't you know who actually looks pretty decent?
Nah,
Indiana.
honestly, I got Boston as a 3rd seed. I'm still not counting them out.
You still ain't gonna come in at the 3rd seed?
Mm-hmm.
I think Boston's gonna be the 8th seed. I think they'll still make the playoffs, but they'll be like the 8th
They're not
seed.
going to be the 8th seed. The East is too terrible.
It is terrible.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Are you
that's-
telling me
and
Boston's
that's what I'm
better?
judging off of because the East is
Hold
so.
on. You telling me Boston's better than Charlotte?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'll take Kemba all
Yeah.
day over Kyrie.
Boston's better than Charlotte.
You know what?
As a team.
I would
Yeah.
say because
They have a
Nick,
better bench.
Nick Batum is out for how long?
The year, I think.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll agree
If
with
he's
you.
not out for the year, he's out till like.
If he's out for the year, then I
like,
agree
he's-
with you.
If he's not out for the year, he's out for like at least like 4 or 5 months, something like that.
Okay, because Frank Kaminsky and Marvin Williams, like Charlotte has some talent.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They got some talent.
I would probably put them at the 4 seed, maybe.
Charlotte, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about Toronto?
Oh yeah, I forgot about Toronto.
Oh yeah,
Toronto
Toronto's
probably
definitely
finish-
making the playoffs.
I don't, man.
They might finish third. Toronto might finish
They got
third.
another.
I say 4th. I
Okay.
say 4th.
They got another problem. They got Valanciunas gets injured every year. He just
does,
can't stay healthy,
always.
and he never can play more than 25 minutes a game. It's crazy.
What about the Wizards?
Oh
Shout
yeah,
out to
I definitely
John
got
Wall.
them in there. Definitely.
He's a beast.
They another team that has they were last in bench scoring last year. They just don't have a bench. They
don't.
didn't get any better. Their
And
best-
they didn't. Yeah,
didn't
they
get any
ain't making
better.
the changes in the
That,
offseason.
They ain't
it's the
making any
exact
good
same
changes.
team from last year, and you saw how that worked out.
What about Miami Heat? Yeah, I got him in.
I
I
got
do.
them in the
I do.
playoffs. I got them as like they were an 8 seed last year. I got them as
Yeah.
like a.
They're not
No,
make-
wait. Did they make the playoffs last year?
Yes.
Maybe.
Were they the 8
Yes.
seed? Okay, maybe they're either the 8 seed or they didn't make it. I can't remember.
They're not making it past the first round.
No, they're going to be. I'm trying. Who's going to be? Let's just skip to it. Who's going to be the sacrificial lamb for Cleveland this year? That's all I want to know.
So who's going to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals with them?
No. Who's going to be the 8 seed that's going to just get completely annihilated
It's
in the
probably
first
going to be
round?
Charlotte.
Yeah, Hornets
You think the Hornets
or Atlanta.
no,
Atlanta's not making it, bro.
Atlanta's
I told you Atlanta's
awful.
not making it. They only have Dennis Schroeder. They're not making it. They have
a bunch of young
Kent
guys.
Bazemore.
Trash.
They're not making it like at all. I don't even know who else is on that team. That's how bad they are. I feel like we might be able to beat them in the 303.
Let's get it.
Power of the beard.
Power of the beard. What about Philly? Y'all got Philly in there?
I think
No.
they're 1 year away.
No.
I think they're 1 year away.
So you don't think they're gonna make the playoffs?
I think if they do, they're the 7 or 8. Now, I would say this:
They might be the sacrificial lamb.
if they're an 8 seed, that would be an interesting matchup to go up against Cleveland. Not gonna lie.
Ben Simmons, Embiid.
I still seen them getting swept if they make
they're
it to the
definitely
AC.
getting swept.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like probably another year or two away. They got to get that team to gel.
Robert Covington, my fellow TSU graduate.
Who else?
I like Philly.
What other teams are? You know what?
The rest of them are not.
The rest of them ain't
You know
even
what?
worth mentioning.
Cleveland's going
Detroit?
to the Eastern Conference.
Cleveland's going to
Detroit?
the finals again.
What did Detroit do?
They
in the
got
offseason?
what's his name from Boston?
Who? Avery Bradley.
Avery Bradley. Yeah.
That might be the
they
eighth
do
seed.
got Avery Bradley.
That might be the eighth seed. Because they
Detroit
still
got-
got Drummond, right?
Yeah.
They still have
Tobias
Reggie Jackson,
Harrison.
Tobias Harrison. Who's the power forward that came from Memphis?
I don't even know. Who
Who's
cares?
their other power forward?
I don't know.
It don't
To be
matter.
honest with
They're not gonna beat LeBron and them anyway. Who cares?
I mean, yeah, Cleveland's coming out the East. I mean, that's pretty obvious.
All right, moving to the West.
Especially
Moving to the
with,
West.
Hayward.
All right, now let's actually have a real debate. Well, maybe this won't be much of a debate. Who you got finishing first in the West? I got Golden State.
Warriors.
Too much talent.
I
been
really,
looking-
Did you see Nick Young?
I really
the first
didn't
game?
want to put him first, but I just can't see them not being first.
They
this
don't
year.
look the same this year, though.
They don't.
Oh, well,
They actually have
They
a.
look
I
a lot
mean,
less inefficient. They look so.
I think they're
inefficient this
disinterested.
it is only 3 games, but they have a losing record right now, and I just think that's kind of shocking, honestly.
It's only 3 games.
But right, yeah, it's only 3 games.
They've got the most talent in the entire NBA, so I feel like Golden State should actually win it all. I'm just going to throw that prediction out there. Who y'all got number 2 in the West?
Spurs. San Antonio.
They got Rudy Gay. They re-signed Paul. They gave an extension to LaMarcus Aldridge, 3 years, $72 million. Kawhi, my favorite NBA player right now, is injured,
But they're still,
and I'm worried about his injury.
they're still kicking ass though too.
They
Yeah,
are.
they really
LaMarcus Aldridge is actually taking over now.
And I do think that Rudy Gay signing was a good signing.
It was.
Yeah, LaMarcus Aldridge is finally looking like he's comfortable with the team now, because last season he was like he was really comfortable.
I thought that
last
was. I thought
season.
it was the beginning of the end for him. He
Yeah,
he
yeah,
looks
I did
completely
too.
rejuvenated.
Well, there's the rumors they were trying to trade him, but I guess they changed their mind. Probably because of that injury, because you do need a consistent 20 and 10 score.
I did hear that he was talking about he wanted to be more involved in the offense, so maybe they're making him
Oh,
more
well,
involved.
here's your opportunity. Kawhi is
Yeah.
injured.
Exactly.
And Kawhi is, like, selfless. Like, that's probably the best teammate in the entire NBA. Like, he doesn't want any shine. Very humble guy.
Yeah, he doesn't have a big ego.
At all. So you said San Antonio second. What about Houston?
Houston's probably the 3 seed.
I get
Houston's gotta be third
Actually,
seed.
I get Thunder third seed.
Third seed?
The
Yes.
Thunder don't really look.
Kalen's
that
going to
good
love
right
that.
now.
Kalen's going to love that prediction.
I still got Houston as a 3 seed. Houston.
I got
just-
Houston as a
just for the
3
fact that
seed
they can
too.
score with anybody.
Yeah, and I'll take the Thunder as a 4 seed. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, I agree with that.
I put
Great additions.
Thunder over Houston
Have you been paying attention to the
because
Thunder?
I don't think Houston's gonna be able to get it together in time with Paul. With Paul and Harden. in the
Paul's going to be
backcourt.
injured for most of the season.
He's been injured the past few years actually.
Yeah, let's pretend Paul won't even play.
If
I
Paul-
like Houston without him even playing.
Yeah.
Or they might trade him near the All-Star break because he's on in 1 year. Like, this is it.
Yeah.
Right.
This is it. So they might trade him and flip
I'm
him for
gonna say
something.
Thunder
All right.
because I was impressed with that first game definitely with the Thunder. If they can just get their chemistry like right,
It seems
they're a
like they might
problem.
be there.
Only downfall is their bench.
Right.
But I ain't gonna lie, Raymond Felton was looking good in the game earlier.
Today, yeah, he was.
I think he had like
Um,
10 points from at the last time that I was watching the game.
I'll say this
Yeah,
much.
10 points.
If you give me an efficient Westbrook, where he's passing the ball 10-plus assists every game, he's going to average a
That's what he
triple-double
did.
again.
That's what he did in the first game against
He's
New
not
York.
going to average triple.
It's gonna be close.
He's not going to get the rebounds this year.
He might not get the rebounds.
So you got to think
But-
that you just picked up 2 6'8" plus
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Plus you got Adams down
Give
low.
me 20 and 10 from him. And when I say 10, I mean assists.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me that with a few steals. And a better effort on defense. And you give me Hoodie Mello. And you give me Paul George being the 3-and-D that he is at his position.
I want to say something. Paul George is probably the best comeback from the injury that he had like ever, from breaking his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the best comeback because he came back just about being as efficient as he was before the injury.
Right. Agreed. So, okay. So we got our top 4. What about the bottom 4? Do we have the Grizzlies in there?
Yes.
We're in Memphis.
I honestly
Grizzlies
Number
look good.
6.
This
6
first,
seed.
when I,
6 seed.
first 3
so
games?
when I was looking,
Is it 3 games?
So when I was looking, the preseason predictions, they were like supposed to be like the 12th best team in the West. They look really good right now, but I feel like over the long haul of the season, I think they might sneak in like as a 7 or 8 seed. I don't think they're going to be a.
I say number 6.
I could see the
don't
the
know,
Grizzlies always have.
Do you think they're better than the Timberwolves?
No.
No.
I feel like the Timberwolves are better than them. I feel like
No, but I got the Timberwolves as a number 5 seed on my list.
Well, without us even organizing them, just who goes in that last 4. So Timberwolves,
New Orleans?
Grizzlies.
I got Denver,
You
Portland.
think the Pelicans are going to make the playoffs?
I think they're going to sneak
No.
in as an 8 seed.
Flag on the field.
No.
They were close last year before
I
they got
get-
Boogie.
Who's going to score
I get-
besides Anthony Davis and Boogie?
That's all they need. Shit, what you mean?
They need shooters, bro.
Yeah, they do.
Who's going to shoot?
They need shooters.
They need to make.
around
They
it.
I
signed
think they need-
Tony
I-
Allen.
I think they need to make one more
we
trade.
love him, but he can't shoot.
I think they need to
Yeah.
make one more trade.
Oh, I agree. That's what I'm saying. They need shooters.
I mean,
Hey, where'd
they're
you-
one shooter away from being a playoff team, but they're not making the playoffs with that squad now.
They need shooters.
The
Outside
West
shooters.
is too
Outside
powerful
shooters.
for that.
Right. Who'd you have? Who else? So we got Minnesota,
The last 4, I got
Memphis.
Yeah.
What about Utah?
No.
Utah?
I got Denver and Portland.
I got. Yeah.
Denver and Portland?
Yeah.
I'm going to roll with that. Because Lillard is a beast. C.J. McCollum is a beast.
Yeah.
Who cares about the rest of the team? I think them two alone could, and just everybody play defense, like they can win. They can make it to the playoffs. And who was the other team? Denver? And they signed
Right.
Paul
Millsap.
Millsap.
Still got Jokic.
They
Who's
still
the
got-
starting point guard now? Is it Murray?
I don't know. It's between.
Is it Moutier? Please don't tell me they're starting Moutier.
I don't know what they're doing.
Moutier is trash. Moody trash. That's what I'm going to call you.
And we have very good reason for calling that.
Yes, and add us at the Three Bearded Kings if you got a problem with Moutier.
Yeah.
You lost me and Tyler and James a lot of money last
Well, you
season.
can lose me a lot of money because I don't do the fan duels.
But anyway,
Yeah, but Murray is good.
yeah, he's pretty decent.
Murray
Yeah,
is good.
yeah, I agree.
So while
Gary Harris.
before we continue,
Yes.
I have to give a shout out. Well, I want it's not a shout out. It's actually a RIP.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
Who died?
the Phoenix Suns season.
Oh,
Oh yeah, they just fired Earl Watson earlier today.
God damn! You know how dysfunctional.
he got fired already?
Yes.
Yes,
You know how
3
dysfunctional
3 games
you have
into
to
the
be
season.
to get.
How do you get fired on the third game?
How you get
This-
fired?
this isn't the NFL.
Wait. Did they play today? Did they play today?
I don't know.
How you get fired on your day off, man? You got fired on your day. 3 games into the season. He had a contract extension.
He
They did give him an
Did you?
extension.
I was looking on Twitter earlier today. Eric
Does
Bledsoe.
he get that money?
Yeah, they got to pay him out.
I think
I'm
I know why he got fired.
I'm looking on my Twitter earlier today, and I see Eric Bledsoe, and he's like, "I don't want to be here." I was like, "I don't want to be there either." You're getting every game. They're giving up 120 points damn near a game.
They got tired of looking at his big ass ears.
Giving up. Getting blown out by 30, 40 plus points.
Well, it seems like the
RIP.
only tactic that their management had to success was trying to pry away LaMarcus Aldridge, who has avoided them every opportunity he could. When he was in Portland, when he was in San Antonio, like he did not want to go to Phoenix at all.
Because they are garbage, man.
I see why.
They don't have
Look at-
anybody. They have Devin Booker.
Who's Klay Thompson without defense?
What game was that where they lost by like 40 points?
That was the first game. The first game they lost by like 50 points.
Who did
If
they
you
play?
actually
They played the Portland Trailblazers.
Right, yeah.
Without C.J. McCollum.
If you actually look at
How?
their roster, though, it's surprising they're so bad. Eric Bledsoe is probably one of the best defensive point guards in the league.
And he doesn't wanna
can
be there.
score. Of course not. So maybe it's more of a mental
He's the
motivational
only
thing.
person. He's the only person that plays
Devin
defense.
Booker can score at will,
But
he
you
doesn't
can't-
play any defense.
Shit, he
It's defense.
doesn't
There you
really
go.
doesn't matter if
You're
you
right.
if you can drop
It's
40, but you
defense.
give up 55.
Yeah, T.J.
Yeah.
Warren.
Yeah,
They've
what
got
is
a
it
good
worth?
squad.
They have
Bender.
good scores. They have guys that can score.
Is Tyson Chandler still there, coming off the bench?
No, he actually started the last game. If I'm not-
Who's there? Alex
Alex
Lynn
Lynn,
is
yeah.
good. Like they have a
I
decent
actually
squad.
forgot about Tyson Chandler.
They
I
don't
forgot
play-
he was
Yeah,
in
they
the
got a
league.
decent
They
squad.
don't play any defense.
Tyson Chandler is a bearded king. Don't you ever forget about him.
Let me here. I'm gonna show you.
Turtleneck wearing bastard. Sorry. Still angry from that coffee.
It ain't my
That's
fault. I ain't make the coffee.
Hashtag dissolving
like the
coffee.
that is the,
Dissolving cup.
So it splashed.
that is the worst
In your
coffee ever.
Circle bastards.
They're like seriously. I think they've given up 120 points like their first
Oh
three
my
games.
God.
Each game.
No wonder Earl Watson got fired in.
I'm trying to pull it up.
He used to play. He should have got out there and play some defense.
So
I remember he played for the Grizzlies.
yesterday, they played the Clippers.
Yeah.
They scored 130 points on the Suns, and the Suns scored 88.
That's just one game.
Yeah. So did they play Friday? Okay, they played Friday.
Okay.
They lost to the Lakers.
Nice.
The Lakers put up 132 points.
Oh yeah.
That was the game where
Lonzo
went
dropped
off.
29.
Yeah, He almost
9
had
and
a
10. He
triple
missed
double.
it by one assist.
Yeah,
On opening night for the rest of the teams, they played against the Trailblazers. They
Yeah.
scored 76 points.
Ooh.
The Trailblazers scored 124.
Oh my!
All right.
You cannot win games.
Now we understand
giving
why
up
he got fired.
Giving
Oh
up
my
120
God.
plus points a game. It's impossible.
That's like you're playing 2K with the difficulty on rookie.
If DFS players, if you're listening, stack against them.
Here's my prediction. They're going to hire Lionel Hollins. He's due for a job.
He had that Nets job for a couple of years.
He's due for a job.
He really
Anyway.
is. I don't understand why the Grizzlies fired him after the Grizzlies had their best season in their franchise
well,
history.
we don't talk about that in Memphis.
Yeah.
All right, real quick. Let's get into MVP predictions.
Antetokounmpo in discussion.
Greek. I will agree with you.
LeBron.
I will agree with you if
LeBron.
Milwaukee finishes second in the East. And you're saying LeBron.
Of course, I gotta go with the
Okay.
King.
So we go with Greek. You go with
I'm just
LeBron.
looking at the. He's like
Oh, no, I agree.
completely destroying. He's averaging like
I believe
36 points a game right now.
it's still voter
I-
fatigue for LeBron.
I agree with what you're saying, but I gotta go with the King.
I still feel like it's voter fatigue, so they want to see a new face. The Warriors players are going to wash each other out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year?
I got Ben Simmons.
Ooh, that's a good one. What you got, Will?
I'm gonna tell you, Ben Simmons. I agree.
He's probably gonna get the most play time.
Who I really want to see
Dylan Brooks.
based off, I want to see
Shout
Dylan
out
Brooks.
to
I want to
the
see Dylan Brooks.
Memphis Grizzlies for finally doing something
Yes.
right with young
They
talent.
finally, oh my God, they finally
Don't
made
trade
a good,
him.
They
Don't
finally made a
waive
good
him.
decision with their draft choices.
Please.
Can I
Let him
can I
develop.
have just a small event?
You got 30 seconds.
You missed the rant section earlier. Actually, fuck you.
Shut
Moving
up.
on.
Shut up. No, but seriously, let me say this. 2009 NBA draft.
Yeah.
You all please go back and look it up.
It's going to make you cry.
Yes, you will be crying tears until you out of fucking water coming out of your
Will's
eyes.
crying right now.
I'm about to. We could have had Steph Curry. We could have had James Harden. We even could have fucking Ricky Rubio.
No, you
Or
coulda-
Tyreek
you
Evans,
coulda
who plays
had-
on the
we
team
coulda-
now.
Yeah, we could have had Tyreek Evans.
coulda-
It was somebody else.
You could have had a family-sized bag of Doritos.
Rick Rubio.
It was somebody else that was in that class that was.
I
pretty-
just told you.
No, Blake Griffin was already gone because
He was the
he
first
got
pick.
drafted number
He was
one.
the first pick.
We drafted Hasheem
The
the
Beat.
Beat.
Who's not even in the NBA
So
anymore.
people,
Jeff Teague was in that draft, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
right? He was.
I'd
He
rather
was.
have Jeff Teague.
I think he went number.
Wasn't he like in the 20s, 21 or something?
I don't think he was that high. I think he was.
Maybe the teens.
I think he was like number 12. I want to say. I could be
I
wrong.
can't remember.
We draft a person that's not even in the fucking league anymore.
I'd rather have a
There-
pop.
Hasheem the Beat.
And then you gotta look at the rest of those guys. There's like 6, 7 All-Stars drafted after him,
I'd rather have a green
Yes.
tea.
or fringe All-Stars. Like
Yes.
it's insane.
What were you thinking? We could have had Curry. We could have had Harden.
I'd rather have a pair of shell toes.
Oh my God.
You got any suggestion for NBA Rookie of the Year?
Rookie of the year, same as Will. I'd like to see Dylan Brooks because he would be a very unexpected. So I got him as a dark horse for Rookie of the Year, but I seen Ben Simmons play, and oh my.
Yeah, he looks pretty
If
good.
he can develop a shot, and that's the same thing we say
He's going
about
to be a
Greek.
problem.
If he could develop a consistent perimeter shot, but you know what? He kind of doesn't need to right now. Like he can get wherever he wants to
Yeah,
get. He sees the court in a different way, and he's huge. What is he? 6'8", 6'9"?
He looks like he's like 6'9".
He's
big,
huge.
big boy.
That's a big boy.
Anyway,
All right, we're done with the NBA, y'all. So final predictions again. We had Golden State and Cleveland.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen.
All right, let's do it at the Bayou Grill again, Midtown. It's a vibe.
yes sir.
All right, let's get into our feature segment, Why You Should and How to Start a Side Hustle. Get that money. Hood was a beast.
Until his shit fell apart.
Hey, but his album
Somebody's
dropped.
watch.
Yeah, that did kind of end his career.
That kind of did fuck up his
But you know
career.
what, though? His album he dropped, we didn't talk about it when we did our hip-hop debate with Kalen, but it actually was a pretty good album.
I
So he's
have
still
not
very
listened to
he's
it.
still very talented, still very humble, still very God-centered. So I like
Did he
Axel.
have?
I like him as a
Did he have
person.
some type of beef with Khaled? Or I don't
They
want to
squashed
say a
it.
beef, but
They're
they
good.
had
You
okay.
can't really beef with Khaled. It's Khaled. Like he's too lovable for that. So they're good. So let me paint the picture. Let me paint the picture. So we talked about this before. We got over $1 trillion in debt as a nation. Over 50% of college grads are underemployed. Half of Americans per survey have $1,000 in their savings.
Or less.
The average household owes $16,000 on credit cards. According to a Gallup survey, 13% of employees worldwide are engaged, meaning 87% of them are like, fuck this job, but I'm going to still work here though. According to Nelson, the average 35 to 49-year-old worker watches over 33 hours of TV.
Say that again.
The average 35 to 49-year-old worker watches over 33 hours of TV per week. So we're watching television. 87% of us are unhappy at our jobs. Over 50% of us don't have $1,000 in the bank. The average household has $16,000 in credit card debt. Don't forget, last episode we talked about education. A 4-year degree was at $30,000 and $100 that we owe for student loans.
Student loans, yeah.
Half of us who are college grads are underemployed, working part-time. And so when we talk about the American dream, and we know that's different for each individual, but I think we can kind of come to a middle ground, a consensus that it has something to do with being financially free, or at least financially comfortable. And of course, that's different for each person. There is your why for why you need to start a side hustle. Once again, and I said this before when Marty and Thoughtmaster was here, and Will was eating chicken with his turtleneck on in L.A.
Actually, I didn't have that turtleneck on that day. I ate the chicken and waffles.
Oh, of course not. You wouldn't want to get any chicken grease on your fine turtleneck there. Shut up, Will. Damn it. Paint the picture. All right,
What's wrong,
the picture's painted. So that's the why. Now, for our listeners, and thank you for listening, we need to discuss how to actually start it. Now, I'm going to tell you how to start it. Very simple. And then we'll get more difficult. Can we organize it that way? I want to do it simple, then we can get more complex.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Number one, find something to sell. That's the most basic I can possibly get. Something legal to sell. Let me add that caveat there. You need a product. You need a product.
Man,
a legal product.
You had people about to go to the store and get
Right.
about
What?
6 tons of baking
Baking
soda.
soda.
You need a product or you need a service. A lot of research shows, and I've read a lot of articles even before we even thought about this episode, that a service business is the easiest because it's easy to get. You're in business as soon as you have one customer. It's a lot easier to get someone to pay you to mow their lawn or for you to cut their hair than it is for them to buy your product. Because whatever product you're selling, they've got a lot of options, millions of options. For example, I'm selling a book. It comes out on Halloween. Don't look at me this way. This is a shameless plug.
Trick or treat.
Who is David Rothenberg?
Jesus Christ.
A College Love Story. It's coming out on Halloween. Available on BlockScholarsPublishing.com.
Yeah, by some shit.
Oh, shut up, fucker. So seriously, though, you need something to sell. You need a product. You need a service. Second thing you need, a willing buyer. You've got a willing buyer. It's the first people who listen to our podcast, friends and family. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, we've been able to stretch past that first circle of trust, and we've got their friends and family and coworkers and relatives who have bought in and listening to the Three Bearded Kings podcast.
Only 11
Thank you for your support.
Just
only 11 in. Thank you for your support. We love you.
Yes.
And as said previously, there's 6 degrees of separation. So what and this is a side hustle, by the way, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a sec. But there's 6 degrees of separation. So you're only a tweet away, a Instagram direct message away, or a relationship away from someone who is what they call an influencer. But you need a willing buyer, and we all have that, okay? So something to sell and a willing buyer. The third thing you need, and this is so easy, you need a way to collect the money. So if your business is online, e-commerce, there are so many different ways you can collect money. PayPal, Stripe. Me and Will just bought some tea not too long ago in the Crosstown Concourse from one of the best cafe shops there is. What's the name of it, Will? What's that on your cup?
Oh, shit. Hold on.
Read.
French Truck Coffee.
French Truck Coffee. Shout out to y'all.
Yeah.
They use a tablet or iPad, and they're using Square.
Mm-hmm.
Square
Actually,
is the easiest.
My barber uses that.
Square. My barber, too, uses Square. Shout out to my barber, Anthony.
Shout out
Apple
to my
Pay.
Paul.
Apple Pay. If you're building a website, and we'll talk about that in a sec as well, too, a lot of the website, if you're using a website builder like Squarespace, which actually is not connected to Square, but they have built-in relationships with Stripe and Apple Pay and PayPal where it's so easy to set up and it's secure for your customers. Because I don't want to give you my debit card or credit card information if you got all my stuff. I want it to be encrypted. I want to pay you for your service or product, but at the same time, I want to be safe. And so a lot of these website builders, Squarespace.
It's a lot of scams going around, too.
That, too.
Yeah.
Wix, Wix. What's another one? Weebly. There's a lot of different website builders out there. Some are better than others. I believe the Ohm Network uses Squarespace. Black Scholars Publishing, we use Squarespace. We like Squarespace. So that's the simple thing. Again, number 1, something to sell. 2, a willing buyer. And 3, a way to collect money. And cash always works, too. You can just open your hand. They put the money in there.
Cash
You
is
put it in
king.
your pocket. You take it to your bank. You put it in your wallet. You really need to put it in your savings account. Didn't we say less than half that? Less than that? Okay. Put it in your savings account. So that's the easy way. Now, let's get a little bit more complex. And you guys jump in when you want to. First thing you need to do, and we've said this before, discover who you are.
Right.
So you have a passion, you have a skill, you have a burning interest. Will, we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah. Find something that you're passionate about. Find something that you love doing. Because especially if your current job you're unhappy with it, which study shows that majority of people are unhappy.
Very unhappy.
Yeah, with their current job. Find out what it is that you love doing and find a way to get paid to do it. Because if you're getting paid to do something that you love, you're not working.
Yeah, most people in their first job aren't using the actual passion or skill that, they're really interested in, that they're really passionate about. For myself, as an example, I love writing. I kind of get to use it in teaching because I teach the kids writing, but it's them writing. It's not, and me grading and me sharing tips, but it's not me actually creating. Now, I love doing that, but that kind of motivates me to write myself more. It motivates me to pick up my pen when I get home, no matter what I have going on. It's all about priorities. So you need to select your passion, skill, burning interest. And let me add this, Will. you need to know your why. And so there's a TED Talk out there, and it talks about the why. If you think about the different companies that are out there, let's say shoe companies, there's a reason why people buy Toms. They're not the most durable, or it's not a very thick shoe, very thin. There's a lot of other shoes out there. But the reason why Toms are so popular is because for every pair that you buy, they take another pair and they're supplying that to a kid in need for a third, in a third world country.
Oh, okay.
So that's why a lot of people support them. I'm trying to think of other companies that do that, but it's called corporate responsibility or social responsibility. And there are a lot of companies that want you to know their why. And there's a reason why I think Nike's so popular, because with their symbology, with their marketing, it feels like if you put on a pair of Nikes, they're just better, and it makes you better. So if you're aiming to be the best,
It does have a good feeling.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's a great quality shoe.
Yeah.
So you need to figure out your why, and you need to use that to your advantage in your side hustle. Let me ask you guys this real quick. I've heard different things about side hustles and seen different research. Do you guys think just having a extra job or a second job, does that include a side hustle, or would you think it's more on the business side? You're starting a business.
That's a good question. I guess you could consider a second job a side hustle.
I mean, you're
But-
hustling.
Right, but
Yeah.
at the same time, you probably want that side hustle to be your own business, because that can potentially take you way further than just working a second job.
Absolutely.
And like I said earlier, it might be something that you actually enjoy doing, because that second job could be just as shitty as your first job. So
What do you think, Leonard? We both
Yeah,
are in that boat.
Yeah. I mean, this is all of our side hustle.
yeah.
And let me say this much with saying that. It's an additional stream of income, but you might not see that income right away. And to be honest with you, if you know anything about business, it usually takes years of starting a company before you're actually in the black. And most companies don't make it to that, because I think it's like the 5th year before people traditionally see their companies going to the black, and at least half of them fail before their 4th year. So I want to say, that much is that it's not just an immediate stream of income. It can be a potential stream of income. And, this is something that we're all really passionate about. This is something that can lead to something much bigger. And at the same time, we talk about social corporate responsibility. We're helping people at the same time. So I think this is the perfect storm, if you will.
Yeah.
And I do have a second job at the dealership.
Right.
Yeah.
And let me say this much about that. The reason why I work part-time at the dealership is because it allows me a lot of flexibility to use my teleportation device. Not only that,
I thought you pleaded the 5th earlier.
I did. That was James talking. Thanks, James. Get out. Not only that, but I don't like I don't like doing extra stuff and earning money per hour. Me personally. I like commission, where it's not limited.
Yeah.
There are days at the dealership where I have made $600, $700, $800 easily.
Right.
That's not every day. I wish it was. That's not every day.
That's
But
one thing I love about
I don't like it limited.
Yeah. It's no limit to what you can make.
Where
yeah.
if we went to a job on a Saturday and we worked 8 hours and we were paid $10 an hour, we made $80.
That's the maximum. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love that. I do love that flexibility. If you sell a few cars, you can hit $1,000 in a day.
Easy.
Exactly.
Easy.
You can average on a paycheck $60-$70 if you're really killing it an hour.
Yeah, I was wondering
yeah.
for a second. You said $67,000.
Oh, my bad. I wanted, you know,
what they paying you?
I wanted that dramatic. I wanted the dramatic pause, so I apologize. But okay, so let me. I'm not going to paint a picture for you, but this is for people that are already working in a professional environment.
Okay.
Look at it like this: when you work, so for instance, I work in a medical device company. A lot of ways that people come up with different side hustles is they look and see what their company does and what's currently missing in that company. What can make that company better? Or they've been working and they're able to come up with a different set of knowledge of the ins and outs and how things work with companies they either partner with or that they do business with, and they can see from a different perspective what are they missing? What do other companies need? What are the wants that other companies have? And that's how you are able to create a side hustle. As far as being an entrepreneur, I like to go on Reddit. There's a blog I'm subscribed to the Entrepreneur blog, and I just like to read some of the questions that people have regarding what kind of expenses, if they want somebody to invest in them, what would somebody want to look at? What would they want to know about their company? If it's your first shot trying to start a company, you're more than likely going to fail. No one's going to invest in you your first time. I believe it's Warren Buffett that said he wouldn't invest in someone unless they failed 3, 4, 5 times, something like that. I can't remember how many times it was.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to fail, just like anything else in life. You're gonna have to take chances. That's the only way you're gonna be able to, succeed.
But it's more of a lesson than failure if you want to look at it from that standpoint.
Exactly. You got to know how. You got to learn how to crawl before you can walk.
Right.
So
the key is to try to keep your failure as close to the ground as possible. And what I mean by that is try to start a business with low overhead. There's a reason why I recommended Chris Gillibue's, sorry if I murdered his name there, $100 Startup. That's a really great book. And again, I've spent more than $100 starting a business, but that's because I was passionate about it. That's because I was vesting in self. And I keep my receipts, and so I'm going to use that as a tax advantage as well too. But definitely, you need to fail, and I know that sounds weird, but sometimes you can fail and push yourself forward at the same time. Like I said last episode, I went to Union, Freed-Hardeman. I'm a proud MBA dropout. I'd drop out again if I could. I'm not going to do that, though, because I know better this time. I learned more from starting my own business. And I don't know if I told you guys this before, but I used to have a carpet cleaning business. Did I tell you guys that? Yeah. I used to have a carpet cleaning business.
That's
wow. I didn't know that.
We figured it out.
What?
That's where he teleported.
Oh, shut up. I don't have it now. But the one thing I learned that I did wrong then, and I'm glad I have this experience to share this with our listeners, is that you want to grow your business organically. If I can do it all over again, I would still start that business, but it would just be part-time. So it would be something I do, in the evenings after I'm done teaching, on the weekends. It's a side hustle. And it was a legitimate business. And I still get calls to this day sometimes about people asking me, about carpet cleaning. I'm like, man, I haven't done that in a long time. I don't even, I still know how to do it.
That means that you left a pretty good impression on the people.
Absolutely. Yeah, I used to clean people's carpets in a suit. That was my uniqueness. Yes, I'm the ultimate professional.
This man walking around like
cleaning carpets, yes.
Part of the nation of
So I
didn't have a bow tie on.
Wait, let me paint a slick picture.
Yes.
So you come into the door looking like you're from a funeral home, and you're about to clean the carpet.
My suits are nicely tailored. I know how to coordinate. I did not look like I came from a funeral home, bastard. I don't wear JCPenney suits.
I can clean your carpets and I can bury your family members.
All in one.
Yeah, hey, that's a nice side hustle, though. Yeah, that's a nice side hustle. But anywho,
you gotta take a next. So what's the next? So the next step further.
Do your research.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And you kind of you see a problem going on in your current day job, but you need to do your research. The fastest way to do your research and to figure out if your business is going to work, your side hustle is going to work, is if you have a product or a service that you can test out right away. So if you're starting a publishing company, you got a book. Let someone read it. This book sucks. Do it over again. Okay, I need to work on this before I get this business started. Or if you have a service, so let's say my carpet cleaning service, if I got terrible reviews and people say, I wanted my money back. I want my money back. You suck. You didn't clean anything. I still got stains everywhere.
What kind of stains?
Love stains.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about that. I've actually cleaned the carpet of, like blood, like lots of blood. They say that
Seriously?
it was a house in Bartlett. I don't remember their name.
Oh, this was since you've been in Memphis. I was thinking
yeah,
this
this
was
is
in
since I've been in
Milwaukee.
Memphis. No,
Oh,
sir.
okay.
And there was blood all over the place. And I said, what happened here?
What the hell?
And she said he got drunk and he hit his head on the dresser. I'm gonna just leave that one right there.
You cleaned crime scenes. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna just leave that one right there. I don't know what actually really happened. I don't want to know what really happened.
You know what you should have did?
This is the sharpest dresser
You
I've
want to know
ever
what you should have
heard
did?
of.
I got a great tip that day, though.
You should have used your teleportation device when you saw that. When you saw that blood on the
I thought about it.
What about that blood over there?
Where'd he go? He's gone.
So,
But yeah, definitely do your research.
that next step though is with the side hustle. The ultimate goal of having the extra flow of income, the extra streams, is to make it work for you, where you are the owner operator of the company. But if you're able to grow it, you don't work, or not necessarily that you don't work as you don't do anything. You make sure you have the overhead. You pay attention. You are the owner of the company. You make sure you're looking. You're seeing what's going on in your company. But you have people that work for you, where you just kind of dibbing and dabbing. You have someone run it for you, where you can have multiple businesses,
So
multiple streams of income.
Yeah.
As
So
we
what
always-
Tyler's talking about is working on the business, not just working in the business.
exactly
That makes sense.
expansion.
In order to do that, you have to have great people around you, and that's one of the steps.
Have a team that you can trust.
Yeah, you have to
around
be
you.
able to
Yeah.
delegate. You have to be
Yeah.
able to delegate. So,
I will say this also: if you are an owner of a business and you are the smartest person in your group,
Your
you're
business
gonna
gonna
fail.
fail. Yeah. Yeah, you definitely have
Strong
the people.
possibility.
You definitely have to have people around you that is gonna help bring you up. Just like what you just said, basically. Can't be the
Exactly.
smartest person in the group.
Now,
next step I'll say is use your network. So, besides testing your product or service, you need to let your friends, family, social network know. Again, 6 degrees of separation. You can be one tweet away from one of your followers retweeting that or contacting someone they know, and they contact someone they know, and it might change your entire business. So let people know. Don't be so closed off. And people like to see behind the scenes as well, too. And that's something, on this podcast we might start doing, is letting people see how we prepare, how we pick episodes, the different conversations we have at the dealership. Like, we might actually start letting people see that, who's really been supporting us from day one, and we
If they
appreciate
see those
that.
conversations, oh my god!
Oh,
Because we had some interesting conversations.
we definitely have some interesting conversations.
I'm not even gonna bring that up. What were
What?
we talking about earlier at when we were eating lunch?
We were talking about a lot.
all kind of
we
crazy
jump
shit.
from one side to the other.
You guys are weird.
No, you're weird.
The 2 bearded kings are weird. 2 of them are.
No, the one bearded king
One of
to the
them is-
left of me.
One of them is
It's
very
very
to
weird.
the left, next to me, to the left of me.
Oh my
Don't try to
god!
remix my stuff.
I just did. Bastard.
The other thing too, because again, let's go back to the time. So people are spending 33 hours of their week watching television, and there's a lot of great television out there. Especially if you have Netflix, a lot of great television
I
out
actually
there.
don't watch a lot of TV like that. The main
I don't
thing
either, but I'll
main
make
thing I
time if
watch
it's
is
great.
Sports. That's really all that I watch is sports.
We're not telling you to cut all 33 hours out of your day, of your week watching TV.
Right.
But cut that in half. Use that half to do some research.
Think about how much you can do with. So we said half. What is that? 16 hours.
Yeah, about 16 and a half hours.
Schedule
lot of
your
time.
time. Schedule your time. What are you doing every single day to work on your side hustle or business? What articles are you reading? What podcasts are you listening to? What radio station programs are you paying attention to? What books are you reading? What conversations are you having with people? If the only, I'm gonna be honest, if the only conversation I can have with you is one dimensional, and it's not like a 360 view where we could talk about different things, I'm probably not going to have too many conversations with you. I'm going to just be honest. That's that's a flaw in my personality, is I don't like incompetent people. So if I want to talk about the president, or if I want to talk about business, or if I want to talk about family, like, I like people who are well-rounded and I can have conversations with. And most successful people are like that. So you guys have got to start spending more time on just general knowledge and focus on your specific side hustle. So when you going to work on that? When you going to work on your business? When you going to work in your business? In and on. You know, just like Tyler said, once you start a business, a side hustle, as it grows organically, you need to find the opportunity to delegate to other people, outsource. I mean, at this point now with technology, you can hire a virtual assistant in India for super cheap, like really, really cheap, where, you know, a regular Joe Schmo making 30 grand a year can afford it. It's not that sources. So definitely do that. And we've already said hustle owners, side hustlers, how can they grow organically? How can they not rush things?
By not forcing it.
Great service, of course.
Well, yeah.
If
Definitely great service.
Nine times out of 10, if your job is, I'll say this, every job is, to an extent, is customer service. It may not be necessarily extra customer, even if you work in a formal business. Right. Your customer may be coworkers. They're still your customer to an extent if you do something for them. Everything, if you're pleasing your customer, if you're on time or early, whatever, with deliverables, you're going to have people that are going to be recommending you just because that's what they do.
Yeah, word of mouth is the biggest builder or killer of any business, whether it's service, it's e-commerce, it's a product. Like, you have to have great customer service. I was having a conversation with a customer who's actually in sales and marketing, and he's starting gyms and doing all types of incredible things. He knows all about side hustles, and he was commending me on my customer service. And I was explaining to him that I'm not like most sales or car salesmen, because one, I don't 100% depend on the income, so I'm very laid back. I'm not pushy at all, and that's just part of my personality, except when I go on rants when my coffee dissolves in my car while I'm driving. But besides that, you know, I'm very laid back and chill, and he just appreciated that. So please, customer service is how you grow your business organically. Just some other options in growing your business organically. I think whatever your business is, you should start a blog, whether that's you creating the content or not. Now, I know there's a lot of different articles and experts that teach you how to monetize a blog. It is very, very difficult to monetize a blog. It takes a very, very long time. I've done it before. It takes a lot of consistency. It takes a lot of energy and resources to constantly be researching and writing and creating great content.
It's a lot of time.
And a lot of people now have ADD or ADHD, whatever you want to call it. They are easily distracted. We like learning and receiving our information through visuals. So the more you can do actual videos or vlogs, the better. I think previous episodes, Tyler's has recommended using YouTube tutorials, you know, using YouTube to build up your brand. That's definitely something you can do to grow your demographic and your audience. Also, you should have a website. And it's not very difficult to create your own website. There's a lot of people out there that'll do it for you, and they're going to charge. And it's not necessarily cheap. But you can start your own website. If you go to blackscholarpublishing.com, I did that by myself. And I don't know how to code. I'm sure I could figure it out if I took the time to study, but I don't have much time. But I did that literally by myself. Now, it took me, you know, more than a day to really put that together. But I haven't heard any negative feedback. I think it looks pretty good, so check it out. But definitely, and that's through Squarespace. And again, the Ohm Network, we use Squarespace as well. Another way to grow organically is to become a subject matter expert. So the more you're writing about the content, the more you're doing videos about the content, even starting your own podcast. people start to see you as an expert. And when you have those different accolades and credentials currently with you on your resume, on your LinkedIn, as part of your Twitter profile, as part of your Instagram profile, you get to have conversations that otherwise you wouldn't have because they see you differently. And it's really about perception. Like, that's really the best way to grow your business, is the perception of how professional are you? How well is your customer service? How do you deal with customer service issues? It starts with you becoming a subject matter expert. And then, as said before, keep your overhead low. I really do want people to read that $100 Startup book by Chris Gillibrand. It's a great book, and you don't have to go broke trying to start a business. You have to get your product out there.
I think that's what scares a lot of people about starting.
They think they'll go broke. Yeah.
Well,
you know why? Because they try to, pay $1,000 to get someone to design a logo for them.
Yeah.
I might have paid maybe $13 for my logo. Like, it was literally nothing. It doesn't cost an arm and a leg to start a website. You can start one for free, through a trial period, which is what I did. And then when I was ready to hit publish, I hit publish. It literally cost me $16 a month to run that website. $16. You tell me you spend $16 on pizza. You can't even get a decent large pizza for less than $16.
Yeah, right.
Right? So stop eating pizza. Eat some fruit. And start and go ahead and publish your website. But no, it really is not that expensive to start a business. Like, seriously, like, the internet technology is the greatest equalizer of all. It doesn't matter what city you stay in. It doesn't matter what state, what country, unless you live in North Korea.
Oh yeah.
We have limited access to technology, but outside of there, really, like, you have all of the opportunity in the world. It's all about believing in yourself and not being afraid to fail. Like, put your ideas out there into the world. You'll be surprised what you get back.
That's another thing that I think affects a lot of people on starting their businesses. They're scared they're going to fail. But what they need to realize is their failure, if they do fail, is going to be a lesson. It's not going to be an actual failure. Just take it as a lesson and apply it to whatever you're doing. Just make sure you don't make that same mistake again.
Yeah, you can wait to start a LLC or S corp or sole prop. Like, just look. The IRS doesn't. If it's really just you, the IRS looks at it all the same anyway. Like, it's all the same. Just keep your receipts. Like, it's all the same. Unless you're starting, you're hiring 500 employees. Well, now you're in the big time. Yeah, you need to start a, official LLC, incorporate that business. But for what we're talking about as a side hustle, meaning you have a full-time job, and this is something extra you're passionate about and you're trying to build, you can wait for all of that stuff. You can wait to hire an accountant. You can wait to, get an official logo. Just put the idea out there at first to your friends, your family, to their circle, and just let it expand. As we said before, 6 degrees of separation. But you first got to put your idea and energy out in the world and see if they're receptive of it. If we created the 3 Bearded Kings and nobody was listening, hell, we're going to stop. I'm just be honest. We would have stopped if nobody was listening. If we were the only listeners, we would have stopped. But the fact that we got support and people were excited about it.
And we're growing.
And I got people, oh, did you listen to episode 3? Man, that was great. Oh, did you listen to the Black Wall Street special? Man, when you going to do your TED Talk? Like, this actual words people have said to me. I said, well, I'm going to start my TED Talk. I do need a TED Talk.
Like, I've had
I'm going to
people,
kill it.
It's been people who I haven't talked to in months/years that, that when I run into them, the first thing they ask me about is, how's the podcast going? I'm like, wait, you know about it?
I've got messages from strangers, meaning I do not know you. I've never met you a day in my life. I like the podcast, bro. Keep it up.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. The other day, and I'm going to cry, I'm going to get emotional.
Oh, God.
My dad told me he was proud of me. He hasn't told me that since I graduated from college. Felt good.
Leonard, if you need to use a teleportation device to go see your father, go ahead, man.
Okay.
I had a joke for you, but I'm going to save it.
Any joke about my dad?
No.
You bastard.
You.
Knowing Tyler probably would be about your dad.
No. I'm not going to disrespect the senior, but the junior, You can get it. Anyway, do we have any other comments, any thoughts on Side Hustle?
Oh, last one. Set goals, execute.
Of course.
And I got that from the 12-week year, another recommendation I've recommended before. Set smart goals, realistic goals, and execute. And if you fail, so what? Change your strategy, try it again. Execute, execute, execute. That's the way you make it to the top.
Well,
Yeah, I think we covered that.
Never wrap that up.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
I think we're ready for our quotes.
Wrap it up then.
Recommendations.
I feel like there's like a running joke with you being left off bad and bougie.
I ain't left off bad and bougie. You think I'm left off bad and bougie?
Say again?
You say I'm left off bad and bougie?
What you say?
You say I'm left off bad and bougie?
Yeah.
Do it look like I'm left off bad and bougie?
What you say?
Do it look like I'm left off bad and bougie?
Nah. I mean, that's one thing I like about the group, because ever since when you were in jail, even though you might see one or the other, y'all move as a collective.
All right, we got to wrap this up, though.
Oh, my bad. Happy trying to jump.
I couldn't
wrap
hear
it up
anything over there too. Close it.
Close it.
Hey, listen, man. I wish I could talk to the Migos longer, man. It's one of my favorite groups. I've been covering for so long. I'm glad they succeeded, man.
Hey, man, you guys are nominated tonight. Have a good.
All right, real quick. Recommendations. Will's recommending the Geek mobile app, and you can see that in show notes. Tyler's recommending the 7-Minute Workout app, and I am recommending the Smart Passive Income. Since we are talking about making additional income, you should try to make passive income where you don't have to necessarily clock in hours in order to get paid. Now let's go ahead and leave them with our quotes for the day.
I'll go first. This actually has to do with the app that I recommended, which you guys will see in the show notes. It is after a lifetime of losing and gaining weight, I get it. No matter how you slice it, weight loss comes down to a simple formula of calories in, calories out. Valerie Bertinelli.
Nice. And I actually use that 7-Minute Workout app.
Yes.
It's a great workout.
My quote for this week, pretty motivational, but it's don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you are done.
I like that. Sounds like execution. And my quote comes from Joe Budden, who we just heard fighting the Migos there. True art has nothing to do with capitalism. Michelangelo didn't give a fuck what people thought.
I like that. I actually like the Joe Budden quote. What the hell's wrong with me? I must be
I
drinking.
mean, Joe Budden is dope.
Yeah.
Meh.
I like him.
Anyway, so we were eating at, what was it, Shogun earlier?
Yeah, hibachi.
Yeah,
Delicious.
Man, that shit took forever.
Yeah.
Man, that was
The
that was
hostess
like,
was
that
cute,
was like
though.
the longest lunch break I ever took.
Oh, the dream.
yeah.
All right, so let me
What
tell you
is the dream, bruh?
All right. So I had this dream. Let me get my Dr. Martin Luther King. I had this dream.
Oh,
And we are in Memphis. Oh, I hope I don't get shot. Watch the windows.
I'm backing up.
Yeah, I'm
Jesse
running.
Jackson, you
I'm
bastard.
ducking.
Bastard.
Yes.
So I had a dream
That one day.
that one day, actually, it was on a Sunday. And it was after we completed one of our podcast episodes. Killed it. It was great. It was just us three. No guest hosts. Nobody extra. Just us. We were in all white. We all had on white turtlenecks. Actually, I had on the tux.
I know that's a lie.
I had on the tux with mine. You guys just had on white turtlenecks.
Was it warm outside?
I don't know.
Was it sexy ass weather?
It definitely was sexy ass weather.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Definitely. That's why we're wearing all white. And we received a phone call. I received the call. They called me. They called the 901
During the
300
podcast.
6653, where you can always reach us. And it was Oprah calling us.
What?
She said, because you know she has ties to Tennessee. She graduated from TSU.
Yeah.
6 degrees of separation. She said, first of all, from one TSU Tiger to another, I just want to congratulate you on everything that you did. And yada, 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 yada. She made an offer for us to bring the Three Bearded Kings to the OHM network. Wait, We are on the OWN network.
The
OWN network.
OWN.
There we go. OWN.
Wow.
And we said yes, and we made a lot of money. And we bought more turtlenecks.
This dream went real. It didn't go left like I thought it was. It went right.
Yeah, see, they were worried. They were thinking that it was something freaky going on
I
in
didn't
the
know
dream.
what it was,
Because I
'cause-
just said, Tyler and Will, I had a dream about you guys last night, and they're like, "What the hell?"
I think it was the look.
Yeah.
I think it was the
No,
3
it was-
second glare.
It was the way you said it. You were like, hey, I had a dream about you. Well, I had a dream and it involves all three of us. I'm like, what the fuck?
Episode 11.
We out.
Teleportation device.
Black excellence, opulence, decadence.